2 years ago, I got accepted into an Ivy League university with only $500 to my name. Fast forward to today, and I've made over $2 million at the age of 19 trading crypto meme coins. Now, I'm not sharing this to brag, but to show you exactly how I made this money, why you need to be learning crypto right now, why crypto is the future of finance, the exact strategies that I used, and why meme coins are the only space where anyone from any background has the potential to create generational wealth. Now, what even is crypto, and why is this important for you? Crypto is decentralized digital currency. It allows for secure, transparent transactions without relying on a central figure like a bank or a government. So it's changing how we view and exchange money by cutting out that middleman in the process. But of course, it's never going to happen while it's unregulated. We can't have something like that in the current society that we live right now. And because of that, governments worldwide are now shifting policies to embrace crypto, and especially in the US. We're seeing how regulations are becoming clearer with how the government is intending to integrate crypto into this traditional financial system that we have today, which means crypto has a place in the future of how the world is going to operate financially. For example, even recently, we've seen the introduction of the Genius Act, which established a promise for dollar-backed stablecoins. And this was actually the first regulatory framework for stablecoins. So it's clear the government is intending to bring crypto under their control. And to add on to that even further, institutions. We're seeing massive financial institutions like BlackRock, JP Morgan getting into crypto. And these aren't just speculative investors. They see the long-term value of crypto. So at the bottom of all this, if you're not paying attention to this space right now, you're already falling behind. But here's the thing, you need to be able to navigate this space before it becomes mainstream. As we get more policies, as these institutions keep jumping in, this opportunity to make massive gains in crypto, especially in meme coins, is now. The people who understand the rules of this game and capitalize on these shifts are going to be the ones who have the highest chance to profit the most. And even beyond that, they're going to be the ones who know how to navigate this future of finance that we're seeing happening literally right now. And that leads us into meme coins, what I like to call the next dot-com bubble. So back in the 90s, people were laughing at this entire internet revolution. They thought it was just another fad. All these tech startups didn't really mean anything. But guess what? The ones who saw that potential early on were able to capitalize and are now some of the wealthiest people that we see today. And the same exact thing is happening right now with meme coins, because meme coins are the dot-com bubble of our generation. Just like the early internet companies like Amazon or eBay weren't given attention by everybody, meme coins are honestly being treated as a joke by a lot of people right now. And on surface view, for good reason. Why is this picture of a frog worth billions of dollars? But in reality, the people who understand the space and act early are going to be the ones who have the greatest chance of hitting this massive profit. The same people who got rich from Bitcoin, the same people who got rich from Ethereum, the same people who got rich from the other altcoins that we had. They saw the value when nobody else did. And the thing with meme coins is they're not necessarily driven by tech innovation or financial fundamentals. They're driven by narrative. And this is where the true wealth is being created in crypto. We are in an attention market right now. People are betting on stories, are betting on virality, and meme coins is the best way you can capitalize on this opportunity. And because of that almost non-existent gate, meme coins give the common man, anybody in the world, a chance to create generational wealth. We're seeing teenage crypto millionaires being created every single day. Not even just for people like me. I have friends that I literally played Valorant with 3 years ago who hit Trump coin, never touched crypto in their life before, and made out with hundreds of thousands of dollars. But without proper navigation, you will not keep the money that you make from the space. Nearly everybody I knew with no experience in crypto, despite what I told them, put their money back into the market, started gambling, putting size into coins with narratives that they didn't even know, and they round tripped every single penny. And that genuinely hurts to see. So this is something you need to be educated about. Now, for my personal $2 million story with meme coins, I didn't come from money. I didn't have any investors. My parents would not let me trade at a young age. I only got into it because my closest friend was starting meme coins as well. So I began with $500, the graduation money that my grandparents gave me. And what happened? I lost every single dollar buying a coin that I didn't even understand. It rugged, it went to zero, and I decided to try again with $300. Same exact thing happened. I lasted almost the same exact amount of time, burned that as well on another coin I once again did not understand. And finally, with the last $500 that I had, I got to where I am today. But through that journey up, I honestly felt like when I first got into crypto, I missed out. I thought I was late to the game. I was doing my homework on this entire space, looked into the NFT bull cycle that we had a couple of years ago, and saw that a lot of the people in this space right now were playing with money that they made last cycle. That really made me think I missed my shot. shot. But you have to realize something. The crypto market is always evolving. There's always going to be opportunity in this space. Last cycle, it was NFTs. Right now, it's meme coins. And even way beyond later in the future, it could be something else. It's not about getting in first. It's about getting in and being strategic about it. And that's when I decided to go hard into my trading journey. I was utterly obsessed with this space. I was spending sometimes 18 hours a day trading. I literally dedicated almost every single second of the day hopping on VC with my friend who got me into trading and just looking at the charts. But even with that dedication, a few months in, I finally turned that into six figures. 500 into 104,000. I round trip that all the way back into 18,000. And why? Same exact story from the people who made money on Trump. Once I got to that point, I just lost all sense of risk management. And at the end of the day, meme coins are volatile. So after that happened, I needed a strategy for finding this asymmetrical upside opportunity that exists in this space without sacrificing my risk management. And after a year passed since that happened, all the time I spent trading, the 2 million I've made since then, I've compiled exactly what you need to navigate this space and have the best chance of creating your own story like I did. So to start, let's backtrack a little bit, the basics. How exactly is the best way for you to start? So number one is get involved with crypto Twitter. Twitter is the most important resource in the space, period. It's your network, it's your research tool, it's your news feed. So the first thing is you need to curate a proper crypto Twitter feed that's going to be following the right accounts. You're going to be exposed to the right information. When you're looking at a coin's Twitter, doing your research, you'll know if it's worth your time by just looking at the Twitter mutuals alone. So here's a short list of accounts that you can follow to get started. The Twitter profile for Elon Musk, Solana, Pasternak, Pump Fund, the White House, Donald Trump, Daily Mail. All of these are going to put your Twitter in the right direction. Another thing you want to do to go even further is follow the people that they're following as well. So, for example, Memecoins. He's a profile that updates people on meme coin news, what coins are popular right now, and why they ran in the first place. Great way to stay updated with the market, lots of valuable information here. And what you're going to do is go to his following list and follow as many accounts as you can see here. Go to my Twitter profile, open up my following list, follow as many accounts as you can see here. And all of this is going to put your Twitter profile in the right direction. And this way you'll stay updated with crypto news. You'll be able to look into the thoughts of good traders right now, and it's going to let you use Twitter as a tool. And the second most important thing is a proper trading terminal. After all, you need a trading bot that you can actually trade on. And the best one in the space at the moment is Axiom Pro. It's the fastest, it has the cheapest fees, it's backed by Y Combinator, so it's the most secure, and it has every single tool you need to trade meme coins. So to set that up, head to the Axiom link in the description down below, and make sure it says Fortune at the bottom. That's going to give you a 20% discount off every single fee, off all fees on the platform. So make sure it's there, and it should take you to this page right here. And for the filters that I use, open the filters for new pairs, at the metrics, and make sure it says minimum $11,000 market cap at the bottom. Keep it simple. It filters out the trash, but still gives you a window to buy into anything with potential. You don't need anything else. And one thing I really want to emphasize is don't get caught up in the new pairs that you see here. You're seeing coins pop up literally every second, but not all of them is going to deserve your attention. It's extremely important that you be aware of this. Getting obsessed with new pairs is one of the fastest ways you can lose money. Remember, you want to preserve your capital here. So try not to let every single coin that you're seeing overwhelm you. And now that we've got a proper setup for tackling this future of finance, we need one more essential thing, and that's going to be a trading community. In this space, you are incredibly disadvantaged trading alone, especially if you're new. You need to be trading with other people, because remember, you're not just playing against other retail traders, you're playing against other FNFs, private discords, alpha groups. And if you're trying to do this solo, you're not in the game. You're the exit liquidity here. I have not met a single seven-figure trader who hasn't deeply networked. Not a single one. They might say they took this entire grind up alone. All they had was themselves. But I guarantee you, they had someone on their path up. A mentor, a group, a friend, someone that really contributed to their success. And in crypto, your network is your net worth. Even me, I don't trade alone. I trade with other people who are also watching deploys. People who I can bounce market insights off of. More eyes scanning the market, more brain scanning the market is always going to be better than one. Now, how do you get into these high value networks? You need to provide value, help catch coins with other people, provide insights. As long as you put in effort, you're not just lurking, you will build these circles with time. But not every community is going to be a good one. For example, when I first started, when I burned that initial $500 I put in, it was because I was in this Telegram signal group where I couldn't even talk. It was just one guy sending in coins. He sent in a coin called Fine. It was a meme of a dog sipping coffee in a burning house. I put my money in, it went to zero, and all he could say was, "We'll catch a cook next time." What value do I get out of it? I lost my money on a coin I don't even understand. I didn't understand the coin after I lost money either. I gained no new knowledge from being in that environment. I didn't meet any new people in this space because nobody could talk, so I got no value out of being in that community. So you need to find a capable community with two things. Number one, members who scan with theses on every single coin. You want to be exposed to people who are scanning the market just as much as you are. They need to be breaking down why they scan the coins and providing proper reasoning so you can integrate that screening process into your own trading. And number two, there needs to be progressive discussion. Like I said, even with just my friend, we were bouncing off market insights with each other 24/7. You need to always be getting more knowledge the more time you put in. And if you're listening to all this and thinking, damn, I need that kind of community, I've got good news. Inside the Fortune Inner Circle, we've built out that exact system. You're not just joining some random Telegram group and hoping for some signals like I did at first. You're stepping into a real trading environment with meetings on the market, current conditions, and how to handle them moving forward. Live breakdowns, exclusive calls like our 38x call on useless coin, which the group made a $3.4 million profit on, and one-on-one access to people like me who have actually done this over and over again. You'll get direct mentorship from me and the team. We'll help you build your system, refine your edge, and find what you should be focusing on, because that's how you scale as a trader. And if you want a chance at getting results like Bayside, who scaled a few $100s into 300,000 all at the age of 15, or Bobby Chang, a student from Yale who didn't know a single thing about meme coins and proceeded to make $7,000 in profit within the first 3 weeks of joining, and you're serious about taking your trading journey to the next level, apply with the first link in the description down below. Now, I'm not saying you need to trade with me specifically. All I'm saying is just don't do this alone. As long as you're doing this with people who are willing to put in the same effort as you and you can bounce thoughts off of them, you're going to progress 10 times as fast. Now that you have the proper physical setup and a circle to trade with, what does this so-called glorified trading experience actually look like? Let me tell you straight up, the raw reality of trading, especially in a market like crypto, that's open 24/7. It is a grind. Your average day is going to consist of literally just sitting on your setup and staring at Axiom, staring at Twitter, and staring at your community chat all day, researching anything that picks up your interest, and then, of course, journaling it all at the end of the day. You are staring at a screen, sifting garbage until something finally catches your eye. And notice how in this process, I didn't necessarily say buying a coin, because while you should be researching everything, that doesn't necessarily mean you should be taking the trade. That's the easiest way to lose in this game, giving into impatience. Sometimes, especially when new pairs are dry, no trade is the best trade. You can't lose your patience in this market. And accordingly, you also can't give into boredom. Your full attention is required. Opportunities, good narratives can spawn out of nowhere. And if you are a few seconds late, you may have already missed the move. So don't be scrolling on TikTok on the side or playing League of Legends on another monitor. You need full attention when you're scanning the market, because that few second delay can end up costing you tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what exactly are you looking for while scanning? And the answer to that is a valuable narrative. Now, narrative's a pretty broad concept when it comes to crypto, but it's the most important thing to understand in order to value a coin. So this is the sole reason you are ever buying into a coin. So you're usually going to find this on the coin's Twitter, whether it's their mission, the followers, who's following the Twitter, or whatever other sites they have attached. And this is the story of the coin. It's what gets the attention and therefore makes it valuable. So what is the piece of tech, the culture, the trend, or meme that the coin was made around? And is that story something that's either gaining a lot of attention at the moment, or does it have to in the future? So with the attention market that crypto is, a strong narrative is going to be what brings more eyes and therefore raises the price. And there are two types of narratives out there. There are alpha narratives and beta narratives. Little corny, I know, but hear me out. So the alpha narrative is going to be the leading story. It's what catches the eyes of everybody on the timeline. And this is going to be the highest performing coin at the moment. So for example, this coin, Dog with Hat, on that run up to billions of market cap, it had the mind share of the entire market. And therefore, Dog with Hat would be what you call the alpha narrative. And with alphas, there are betas as well. And these are going to be the quote unquote cope plays, the cope narratives that come out of the alpha. Dog with Hat would be the alpha narrative. The beta narratives would be any other dog coins that would spawn or pump up because of dog running up. So the betas are the followers. And although crypto and meme coin trading is all about narratives, most narratives are complete garbage. And this is what the new pair section in Axiom is usually going to be infested with. There's going to be a lot of bad narratives out there. Maybe the 20th community coin you've seen so far, ran by randoms, and won't ever get widespread attention. So how do we actually identify the good narratives? And that's going to lead into my personal strategy, the alpha filter. And this is my system for success. It's how I consistently made money trading meme coins, and it removes most of the luck from the game. Here's how it works. It's a 3-step process. The first part of the strategy is evaluating the current market conditions. So you're looking at 2 things for this first step. 1, you are assessing market sentiment. How is the volume right now? Are majors like Bitcoin and Ethereum going up? Are you seeing a lot of coins migrating on new pairs? So this is basically asking, how is macro right now? If macro is healthy, there's a lot of volume, you can be more risk off with your plays. You can allocate more capital, you can buy things with weaker narratives, and they'll still outperform. But when it's not, you need to preserve your capital. You can't be trenching new pairs as much. You should be focusing towards higher market cap coins that have shown historical strength, that are looking healthy on the market retrace. And number 2 is finding the current leading narrative. As I said, that's going to be the alpha play, the flavor of the month coin. What is taking up all the mind share in the market right now? For example, as I gave with that dog with hat coin example. So this is basically just going to tell you what type of coins should you be paying most attention to. And once you have a good grasp of that environment, the second step is actually evaluating the narrative. Is there a valuable story behind the coin? And to figure that out, you're going to ask yourself 4 questions. Number 1, how many people will see this narrative? Is this a story that's going to appeal to a lot of people? Is this something that a lot of people can understand? Is this something that can spread easily? You're looking at the potential size of the audience that it can appeal to. And the second question is, how will people react? Sure, a story can reach a lot of people, but will that story actually incite people to buy into the coin? For example, this coin right here, video coin by Dracula. It was a coin made by Dracula app, a team with some insane accounts following their Twitter, like Paradigm, one of the biggest crypto institutions in the entire space, who only follow 127 people, and many other noteworthy followers. They had an app built for their coin that they were working on for a long time, and during the time Dracula launched, AI coins were ripping. A lot of mindshare on tech, and crypto was making all-time highs. So the environment lines up, you have a coin around tech, people love tech. It's something that makes people sound smart when they try and spread it, so it appeals to a large audience. And people seeing all those stacked followers would make them want to buy. And the next question you want to ask yourself is, what is the maximum realistic range of this attention? For example, on a piece of utility like this, it could genuinely be multi-millions, with accounts like Paradigm who are only following projects that have gone to hundreds of millions following the account. And with tech being the leading narrative, you had tech coins going to hundreds of millions as well. Crazy backing. So there's a very high realistic ceiling. But now you also need to ask yourself, how long is this attention really going to last? And what could invalidate this attention? And let me use video as an example for this again. I know I use this as an example for a lot of my videos, but I think it's a perfect demonstration of what I'm trying to get across. But for a tech coin like video, this attention only lasts as long as the team is pushing it, making updates to their project, and making sure that the coin is actually associated with their tech. You can see there's a massive dump on the chart here. And this was because the team just out of nowhere stopped associating the coin with a tech. They said, okay, this coin didn't really have a use case for a tech. And as a result, why would the coin even matter after that? All the speculative attention died down, the chart went to 0. And these 4 questions will let you evaluate any single narrative that you find. I can literally go on Pulse right now, open up any coin that I see on my screen, skillful AI, 111K. I open up the website, how many people will see this narrative? It's tech, so it has the potential to appeal to a wide range of people. But how will people react? Okay, I'm looking at this in the Twitter attached. It's some nobody. He's not even doxed. He has Michael Burry as the profile picture. There's no updates on that coin whatsoever. This guy's got no mutuals, no motion. He's literally posting other contract addresses. Why would people buy into this? There's no reason for anyone to buy into this. And same thing for all these community coins that I'm seeing on new pairs that I see for no reason at all, just people burning their money into. Luck, you've been visited by Good Luck Doggo. I don't even need to open up the Twitter. Why the hell would you ever buy into something like this? What about this makes you want to buy? It's linked to a random tweet and literally nothing else. So there's nothing about the coin that's actually going to make people want to buy. It's some nobody running the tech, and the tech is garbage. I don't even understand how it works off just by clicking on it. And what is the ceiling of this attention? 0. Literally going back to it, it's already down 50%. I guarantee you it's going to be zero in a couple minutes. There's no reason for a high ceiling whatsoever. There's nothing about this that can save that coin. The guy running it is literally shitposting, and he isn't even promoting the coin. So how long will this attention last? I mean, we can literally see right here, already dropped 50%. I can open up the chart and to the 15 second. It didn't even last half an hour. It's at zero. And yeah, sure, it may have gone up. What reason is there to buy this coin? You're gambling at this point. This is not a strong narrative, and we know that by utilizing the narrative evaluation step of the alpha filter. And the final step of this is going to be identifying the inefficiency. So where is the asymmetrical upside of the coin? Why is this underpriced? And for that, once again, let me go back into the video example. As you can see right here, Video Coin was literally sitting at a $30,000 market cap, even with all the stacked mutuals that it had. It still had the app, it still had the coin associated to the tech at the time, it still had the stacked followers, yet it was at 30K. And because I knew that the environment was hot, it was favoring tech coins. Number two, it had a very strong narrative. It had all those crazy backings with accounts that were backing coins that were going to hundreds of millions. It made zero sense for this coin to stay at 30K. And as a result, I identified the inefficiency by following the previous steps, and I made out with 36.8 ETH on this wallet alone. This is another wallet I bought in with. I made 19.4 ETH on this wallet. Adds up about a little over 200K on this trade. And my initial investment was only 0.3 ETH. This was over a 100x that I caught in real time, all because I utilized the alpha filter correct. This single strategy is going to carry you throughout the entire run. Why? Because it focuses on narrative, and narrative is the only thing that matters in this entire space. Don't let anyone tell you it's ran around stats or TA or anything else. Okay, maybe they might have some significance, but at the end of the day, all of that traces back into a coin needing to have a strong narrative to go up. This is an attention market, and the alpha filter prioritizes that. This is the single strategy that has turned me into a 7-figure trader. It's just 3 simple steps. But even with this strategy, you're going to mess up later in the future. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I make errors too. And the only way you can patch that is by refining the alpha filter strategy by journaling regularly. Now, it might seem tedious. It might seem like a waste of time, but it's extremely important. It takes only a few minutes out of your day. You don't need to be writing essays or anything, but it's going to save you months to years of time and capital saved in the future. So at the end of every day, look back and write down these 4 questions for every single significant trade that you took. Number 1, what was the narrative of the coin that I bought? Number 2, why did I buy where I did? Number 3, why did I hold for how long I did? And number 4, why did I sell where I did? And once you've answered these questions, analyze and reflect on what you could have done better for every single question. Remember, nobody is a perfect trader. I have instances where I look back and I realize I screwed up. I could have executed this trade way better. Or this was a coin that I shouldn't have even bought in the first place because the narrative wasn't strong enough. By doing this, you always know where you are as a trader in terms of skill. You know your trading style, and if it's working for the current leading narrative that the market is focusing on, it keeps you grounded and helps you look at things from a more objective view, and it always gives yourself room for improvement. And remember, trading is a process. The market is always changing. If you're serious about making money in this space, you always need to know where you are. And this single strategy, the alpha filter, if you perfect it, if you actually implement what I'm saying, you will have the highest possible chance for success over any other strategy that you're seeing. So, what are some immediate lessons that you can take from what I've just told you? Number 1, you need to know that every meme coin at the end of the day, no matter how good the narrative is, no matter how great it looks, it exists to extract money. There is always a developer behind the coin that you're looking at, and that developer always has his own bags at the front of his mind. Your job is to identify what that developer is doing and actually get a piece of that profit. And this is why understanding narrative is so important. A good developer is going to create as strong of a narrative as they can because they know that's going to get the most attention. They know it's going to get the most value. And if the narrative is weak, that's because that's all the developer can do. If they could craft a stronger narrative, they would. And that also means you need to not expect the worst, but also be prepared for it in every single scenario. Just pretend that money is already gone. And that way, it's not going to affect you emotionally. You need to remember, this is a volatile market. The price of asymmetrical upside is going to be risk. It's by averaging out of your positions. If I go to my video trade again, or like the 5th time this video, you can see there's a million different sell points right here. Because, once again, I stated there's a lot of risk for tech coins. There's a lot of stuff that can invalidate the narrative. And while it's impossible to know the exact ceiling and the exact duration of how long the narrative is going to last. I had a solid idea of when, and when I was up a couple hundred K, a significant amount of money for me, I started averaging out. And this way, you keep your profit and you still have some stake left in the coin. So always average out of every single position that you're in. There should almost never be a scenario unless you find some insane FUD on a coin. There's some ridiculously bad news that comes out and you need to exit immediately. You should always be selling in clips. Because at the end of the day, it's impossible to know exactly how much attention something is going to get. So you always need to be prepared for the worst. And regarding attention and narratives, you also need to know that not every win is a good win. As I said about implementing the alpha filter, sometimes there are times where you overlook the filter, you give into boredom, and you just buy some random community coin that you're seeing on new pairs, but you get a lucky break. A key opinion leader or someone with a lot of influence happens to shill the coin randomly out of nowhere. Now sure, you might have made some money off of that, but that's not a good win. For example, that coin I was showing earlier before, Skillful AI, which surprise, surprise, it's at 21.5K. I wonder how I knew. Even if you were super early to this, you caught the ride up and you made money off of it, this is not a good win. By utilizing the alpha filter, there's nothing about this narrative that stands out and tells you that you should buy. Don't lie to yourself. That's how you create bad habits. If you made money on this coin, you got lucky through gambling. That's not what I'm trying to teach here. There is a system and you have to be aware of that. And of course, you're going to be more aware of these things as you keep utilizing the alpha filter and as you keep researching everything you see. And that's why an ADHD mindset leads to success. You want to quote unquote weaponize your ADHD. And this honestly might be why I'm seeing so much success from teenagers in this space, is because these are people with pretty low attention spans. They look into every single thing that catches their interest. And that's what you need to be like. You need to research every single thing that piques your interest on Axiom or crypto Twitter. You need that obsession mindset to win. Crypto is honestly not a hard game. You open up a coin's Twitter, you look through the followers, see if there's anything notable or their mission, see who's involved. If you think it's going to get a lot of attention, you buy in. And all of that really just comes down to putting in the hours and doing your research. That's literally all this game is. It's genuinely not hard. All it takes is time and effort. But once again, that does not mean I'm telling you to buy literally every single thing you're seeing, because in this market, one trade can outperform 100. There are some members in Fortune, just using this as an example, who took a single trade in the entire 2 months of June and July on useless coin, who made up a significant portion of the $3.4 million P&L. And those people who did enough research, who built enough conviction to bet on a single coin, outperformed the people who literally show up every single day on VC, scanning every single coin, hitting 20 scalps a day. You're in meme coins for a reason. You're here for that 100x in your portfolio, and you're not going to get there necessarily through quantity alone. And that's another fundamental of the alpha filter. You're looking for quality coins, because people are right. There is a lot of shit in meme coins. A lot of this stuff here is garbage. The same thing as it was for the dotcom bubble. It's those few select winners that are going to create generational wealth. And the final lesson is, remember, this is the digital future of finance. You want to be a part of the future. And obviously, you can't do that if you have a smaller portfolio. But once you reach some size, a 10, 20% move on Bitcoin or Ethereum can outperform literally months of just trenching. And that goes back into my point of one trade outperforming 100. And this is the full step-by-step breakdown of everything I utilized to get to where I am now. But what can you actually do after watching this video? So the first thing is get your setup right. Set up Axiom, follow the top accounts that I listed on crypto Twitter, and follow who they're following as well. Next, you want to find a community that meets the checklist that I provided. They need to have members that are actually breaking down what they're scanning and consists of people that you can continuously bounce market insight off of. You want to constantly be honing your edge. And then, if you're new, establish a learner's wallet. Play with a little bit of capital to see what narratives the market likes right now. And another way you can do that is also by looking at past runners and trying to break down why they ran. The whole idea of these two steps are to train your narrative process. Because in crypto, what I like to say is history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. A lot of similar events repeat in crypto, and you won't be able to capitalize or even notice these events when they're happening if you don't have that previous knowledge from before. So study the past runners. And finally, of course, journal this entire process. Pretend I'm your professor and I'm just grading your life story. I want you to look back and actually see your growth as a trader and what you were doing before and how you fixed it. That's how you're going to improve and scale your portfolio. Because remember, success in crypto, it's not about luck. It's simply about putting the time and effort towards training your process. You need to treat this like an actual system. And by doing that, you'll be ahead of 99% of traders and you'll shut everyone up who think this entire system is gambling. Because I created my own personal system, I was able to build a $2 million portfolio. And if you want to join me at the top and speedrunning your trading journey, feel free to apply to Fortune in the description down below. I hope this inspired some of you out there to get started and start putting in the hours. Thank you for watching and peace.